Magandang araw po muli sa inyong lahat. Welcome again to our channel, Sir Lopez Vlog. Sa araw na ito, magkakaroon naman tayo ng self-evaluation dito sa subject na Special Crime Investigation. 25 katanungan ang susukat sa ating academic preparation pagdating sa subject na ito. At hangad natin na sa bawat isinasagawa nating self-evaluation, kinakailangan makakuha tayo ng 20 o higit pa para masigurado natin ang ating tsansa sa darating na board examination. Okay, ang inyong makasagutan ay sulat lamang sa isang kapirasong papel at pagkatapos nito, you have to open the description box at ipasok nyo doon yung mga sagot nyo para malaman kung ilan ang inyong nakuha. Okay, tama po ang inyong narinig. Sulat sa isang kapirasong papel ang inyong makasagutan. At kung gusto nyong malaman kung tama ba o hindi ang inyong sinagot, hanapin nyo lang yung link sa ating description box at doon nyo ipasok yung mga sagot na sinulat nyo sa isang kapirasong papel. Pagkatapos nyan, sasabihin nito kung ilan ang inyong nakuha at kung saan kayo nagkamali. In this way, pwede yung balikan yung mga tanong na kung saan kayo ay nagkamali para maitama ninyo sa lalong madaling panahon. Okay, kung nakahanda na kayo, umpisa na natin sa question number 1. Okay, so start na tayo. Self-evaluation in the subject Special Crime Investigation. Number 1. The following are the primary jobs of an investigator, except A. To prosecute the offense, B. To discover whether an offense has been committed under the law, C. To discover how it was committed, or D. Who committed it, and by whom it was committed. Number 2. This kind of investigation deals with the study of major crimes based on the application of special investigative technique. A. Criminal investigation, B. Organized crime investigation, C. Special crime investigation, or D. Preliminary investigation. Number 3. Basic guide for the investigator to look upon is to establish the following, except A. Corpus delicti, or facts that crime was committed, B. Method of operation of the suspect, C. Identity of the guilty party, or D. The possibility of entering a plea bargaining agreement. Number 4. Any person who shall kill his father, mother, or child, whether legitimate or illegitimate, or any of his ascendants or descendants, or his spouse, shall be guilty of A. Parricide, B. Murder, C. Homicide, or D. Infanticide. Number 5. Establishing the identity of the blank is important. It will provide tracing clues to the motive and identity of the perpetrator. What is the missing word? A. Investigator, B. Judge, C. Police, or D. Victim. Number 6. This fact is significant because of its investigative importance in corroborating or disputing alibis or in establishing the victim's movement movements, I should say, prior to death. A. Establishment of the approximate time of death. B. Knowing the principles of the crime. C. Identity of the victim. Or D. Credibility of the investigator. 7. Points to be considered in identifying a person except A. Personal belongings. B. Identification from spouse, parents, relatives, and friends. C. Files from the police and other law enforcement agencies. Or D. None of them. Number 8. The essence of this is the fact that the execution of the criminal act is preceded by cool thought and reflection upon the resolution to carry out the criminal intent during the space of time sufficient to arrive at a calm judgment. A. Treachery. B. Ignominy. C. Wrath. Or D. Premeditation. Number 9. The prohibition to enter the place or places designated in the sentence, nor within the radius therein specified, which shall be not more than 250 and not less than 25 kilometers from the place designated. A. Atonement. B. Banishment. C. Destierro. Or D. Expulsion. Number 10. What is the crime committed if the victim is killed with treachery? A. Parricide. B. Murder. C. Homicide. Or D. Infanticide. 11. The investigation of the case will focus on the cadaver, crime scene, and post-mortem examination. A. Rape. B. Arson. C. Homicide. Or D. Bigamy. Number 12. The first essential step of the homicide investigation is to establish that the victim is indeed A. Happy. B. Alive. C. Sad. Or D. Dead. Number 13. Which of the following is a sign of death? A. Cessation of respiration. B. Cessation of heart beating and circulation. C. Cooling of the body. Or D. All of them. 14. It is the cessation of life of the individual cells in the whole body, which occurs one at a time after somatic death. A. Apparent death. B. Somatic death. C. Clinical death. Or D. Molecular death. 15. Highly resistant to destruction and are frequently useful when the other portions of the body are totally decomposed. A. Dental structure. B. Skin composition. C. Facial expression. Or D. Fingerprint. 16. The killing is not parricide or infanticide. A. Adultery. B. Rape. C. Violation of domicile. Or D. murder. 17. Points taken into consideration when human dead body were found elsewhere. A. Identification from spouse, parents, relatives, and friends. B. Files from the police and other law enforcement agencies. C. Occupational mark. Or D. Place where the body was found. 18. Discoloration of the body after death. Setting of blood in the dependent portions of the body following death. A. Carbon monoxide poisoning, cyanide, cherry red to fish pink color, pinkish color, I should say. B. Asphyxia or dark lividity. C. C. Phosphorus poisoning or D. Post-mortem lividity. 19. Coagulated inside blood vessel. Change in position will not change its location. A. Hypostatic. B. Blood is still in fluid form inside blood vessel. C. Change as position of the body changes. Blood remains fluid in the blood vessel for 6 to 8 hours. Or D. Diffusion. 20. The following are points except one are considered in identifying a person. A. Tattoo marks. B. Deformities. C. Birthmarks. Or D. Favorite foods. Next, 21. State of suspended animation. A. Somatic death. B. Clinical death. C. Molecular death. Or D. Apparent death. Okay, number 22. Special crime investigation involves a close relationship between the blank in the field and the crime laboratory technician. What is the missing word? A. Victim. B. Suspect. C. Prosecutor. Or D. Prober. 23. The killing of a child less than 3 days of age, whether the killer is the parent or grandparent and any other relative of the child or stranger. A. Parricide. B. Murder. C. Homicide. Or D. Infanticide. Next, 24. Any legally married person who, having surprised his spouse in the act of committing sexual intercourse with another person, shall kill any or both of them. A. True. B. False. 25. Bridges in homicide investigation that should not be crossed. A. The dead person has been moved. B. The cadaver is embalmed. C. The body is burned or cremated. Or D. All of them. Natapos na natin ang ating isinagawang self-evaluation sa araw na ito. Umaasa tayo na higit pa sa 20 ang inyong nakuha. Kung sakali man na hindi nyo na-reach yung target nating 20, ay mangyari lamang na balikan ninyo ang mga topic dito sa subject na ito at pag-aralan muli to ensure na hindi na kayo magkakamali sa darating na board examination. Okay, so hanggang sa susunod muli na self-evaluation na ating gagawin, patuloy lamang kayo sa pagsubaybay sa ating channel at hit nyo na rin ang notification icon para ma-update kayo sa mga susunod na videos na ating i-upload. Okay, so maraming salamat at magandang araw po sa inyong lahat.